What up, DC and Marvel fans? I'm coming live today. So many people ask, who would win, DC versus Marvel? Well, I'm here with two characters that are guaranteed to give a good matchup. We are going to introduce DC's Batman versus Marvel's Moon Knight. So without a further ado, let's get started off with Batman. Now, I looked in my various assortment of DC comics and found out that in his Batman's physical physique, he's estimated to start off at around 6'2" and 185 pounds. Now, I gave him a body fat of about 20%, slightly below average since most of his body is muscle, and a body mass index of 26. Now, a trivia publication BuzzFeed states Batman's stated IQ is an unbelievable 192, which might give Moon Knight a little trouble, several notches above the famed theoretical physicist Albert Einstein, who was estimated to have an IQ between 160 and 180. That's exactly why I came up with these Batman facts that will make you guarantee Batman wins this fight. Now, number one, Batman's original creators were named Bob Kane and Bill Finger, just to put that out there, just for you DC fans of Batman. Now, Bruce, in Batman number 655 comic, Bruce is shown to be bench pressing over 1,000 pounds during one of his regular workouts, which is like bench pressing an adult male moose. Now, in Batman Odyssey number 2, Bruce mentions that his maximum leg press is 2,500 pounds. That's like trying to lift an adult elephant with your legs. Now, this estimated power of Batman's punch has come in at around 1,420 pounds of force behind it. That makes it equivalent of getting smashed by a battering ram, which means that if Batman were standing in front of a big wooden door, he could knock it down all by himself. He's also trained his body to a point where he has nearly unlimited stamina, unlike Moon Knight, which has to get his stamina from an Egyptian god. Now, superpowers aren't a necessity when it comes to the superhero, especially when it comes to fighting crime and doing vigilante work in Gotham City. Batman has made up for his lack of superpowers by compensating with his stamina and intelligence. Batman can run about 20 miles at a pace of 4 minutes and 50 seconds per mile. That works out to be about 12.4 miles per hour pace. One of his most impressive victories comes out of Batman Confidential Volume 1, number 53, where he manages to single-handedly, take out the League in a 1 versus 5 fight. Let's see Superman do that. In its most basic version, Batman's suit is bulletproof around the upper torso and back and can withstand a point-blank range blast from a 12-gauge shotgun. And that's a pretty powerful gun, not gonna lie. Other versions are entirely bulletproof with small arm fires and having advanced flexible armor plating made from carbon composites and lightweight metal polymers. Wayne's phobia of bats, though, is the most apparent. It stems from his childhood incident of falling down a well with bats flying up above him, which had given him a little trouble. Batman's physical and mental abilities are pivotal to his success as a superhero, yet neither is the singular trait that allows him to succeed against his stronger foes, which in this case is the Moon Knight. In the end, it appears that Batman's true greatest strength is his judgment and ability to know when he is in over his head. Now, let's talk about the physical fighting part. Batman is an absolute martial arts master. In fact, he has such a reputation that even Superman once described him as the most dangerous man on Earth. That's a lot coming from the Man of Steel, who's almost invincible to just about anything. The self-identified form of Kai-Si is used by Batman when in hand-to-hand combat, and is considered to be a synthesis of different martial arts forms brought together, when in practice it is viewed to be as ruthless as Krav Maga or mixed martial arts. Now, for the fans that are watching that don't know what Krav Maga is, I'll tell you. Krav Maga is an Israeli martial art developed for the Israeli Defense Forces. It is derived from a combination of techniques used in Aikido, Judo, Karate, and boxing, and even wrestling. Now, where Batman learned how to do that moves is from, well, you see him in one of the first Batman movies. He's known as the Shadow Assassin's leader of damn, I forgot. From, oh yes, Ra's al Ghul. That's where. Sorry about that. His nickname, Ra's al Ghul, who's the leader of the Shadow Assassins. It's basically like this. After his parents' murders, Bruce decides to leave Gotham and spends his young adult years traveling to foreign countries. He is later trained by a martial arts expert at a monastery located in the mountains of Korea. Yeah, not sure what he was doing in Korea. Probably, working and climbing the mountains. He's later, at one point, Bruce is trained by a man named Henry Ducard. Now, Henry Ducard, you might ask, who is he? He's not what you would say a very well-known person. Was one of the teachers of Bruce Wayne before he became Batman. He's often credited in teaching him both detective/investigation skills and how to hunt enemies. Obviously. The Ducard's relationship with Wayne is often shown as strained due to him being involved in the criminal underworld. Now, that's one of his teachers. His other teacher, Ra's al Ghul, is a whole nother thing. Ra's al Ghul is a supervillain appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics, commonly as an adversary of the crime-fighting vigilante Batman. Kind of funny, right? Ra's al Ghul teaches Bruce Wayne how to fight, not knowing that he's going to become Batman, and then before he knows it, he's fighting Batman, the person who he taught to fight. Isn't that funny to me? He's most notable as the leader of the League of Assassins. Ra's al Ghul's name in Arabic translates to head of the ghoul. He's the son of Sensei. Now, you might ask, how old is Ra's al Ghul? The birth of the demon provides a rough figure of 500 years for Ra's al Ghul's age. Due to living so long, he is assumed to have lost track of how old he is. Azraeli number 6, July 1995, written by Dennis O'Neil, places Ra's age closer to 450 years. But that doesn't stop him from being one of the biggest heads of the criminal underworld. Now, back to Batman. Why do you think Batman could win this fight? Well, here's the thing though. Batman is mostly known for his crime-fighting alter ego, and has been entertaining audiences since 1939. That's pretty old. I mean, he might not have a superpower like the Moon Knight, but I don't think he needs it, because he relies on his intellect, fighting skills, and his wealth to buy and he could probably buy himself out of any situation, to be honest. And in The Dark Knight, Bruce is around only 41 years old. Now, without further ado, let's go to the Moon Knight. Now, you may ask, what are Moon Knight's powers? Well, according to Marvel, Moon Knight possesses expert fighting abilities, weapons, expertise, and impressive athletics. Don't think he has anything on Spider-Man, though. Due to Mark Spector's background as a CIA operative, Marine, and eventually mercenary, he can also speak several languages. As his name goes, Moon Knight is known to get power enhancements through the moon, could be a big problem for Batman, because Batman comes out at night, not during the day. But Moon Knight is strongest during the full moon at night. So that could boil it down. Moon Knight's when there is a full moon, Moon Knight's strength, endurance, and speed is increased tenfold. This power was gifted to him by the Egyptian god of the moon, Khonshu, but was later taken away as a punishment. Eventually he got it back, but that's a different story. Moon Knight is the most powerful during the full moon. However, this might not be considered one of his power traits. Whilst one cannot let past the strength he possesses in the comics, that many times he resembles Captain America, Knight's ability to crush and tear off a car bumper helps us relate the two in no time. Immortality. Moon Knight also has the divine ability of immortality unless Khonshu finds a new servant. Spectre is functionally immortal. To be honest, Batman might be a better servant, to be honest. One of the Moon Knight's main weaknesses, though, is his mental state, which is where Batman could take the advantage, even at night. Moon Knight struggles with frequent bouts of depression, and his multiple identities can often cause him to push away those who attempt to get close to him. Moon Knight's immortality comes with his connection to Khonshu, who has the ability to revive Mark Spector. Khonshu can heal Moon Knight even before he dies, though, which grants him a certain level of invincibility in terms of his opponent not being able to kill him. Now, when it comes to Moon Knight versus Batman and that kind of thing, I think Batman could still find a way around it, not gonna lie. But he's also got a healing factor. He bounces back when he gets shot or stabbed. He heals. He doesn't heal right away. He's not Wolverine. He's not fully immortal. If you get him the right way, he's gonna go down for good. But thankfully, in our show, he got back up. As Mark Spector, his secret identity, or at least one of them, takes time to undergo so much needed therapy and work through his vulnerability and unresolved trauma, just like Batman. His new series shows that Moon Knight's pain not only informs much of his superhero crusade, but empowers him in ways that are uniquely inspiring that even Batman couldn't think of. Khonshu, also spelled Khans or Chans, in ancient Egyptian religion, moon god, who has generally depicted as a youth, a deity with astronomical associations named Kensu, is generally depicted as is known for the pyramid texts, and is possibly the same as Khonshu. The most recent Moon Knight comic run confirmed the 5 different alters and elaborated on why these 5 characters came to be. In this source material, the Vigilante can appear as Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, Mr. Knight, or Moon Knight. So who is stronger between the two? Who do you think would win in a fight between Moon Knight and Batman? Well, when it all comes down, even at night, Batman, I think, would win in a fight against Moon Knight, even though he has no supernatural abilities like the Moon Knight, because he has his intelligence. I mean, if you want to know what Moon Knight's intelligence is, I'll show you. Moon Knight's IQ is to be... Well, actually, he's one of the Marvel's smartest superheroes, even with his mental disabilities. Moon Knight just proved how in tune with others he really is. It might make him that much smarter than every other Marvel superhero. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's correct, because if you want to know that Mr. Fantastic actually is the smartest person in Marvel Comics, he's even smarter than Batman. Richard Reeves is. But we're not talking about him right now, are we? The Moon Knight from the Ultimate Comics universe of Earth 1610 defeated the Ultimate Spider-Man in battle, proving he's one of the best martial artists in the Marvel universe. He also possesses superhuman strength and stamina, which might even give Batman a trouble. But even then, Batman still has his friends to back him up. Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing, and the newest Robin. Even though I don't think Robin would have much chance against the Moon Knight. But Nightwing actually might be able to help Batman in this. Now, the thing about Batman is that unrelated, though, Batman also has the Batmobile. Like, he also has the Batmobile. Which, if he needs to, he can get out of there pretty fast. You know what I mean? But, like, who do you think would still win against Batman versus Moon Knight? I'm gonna go with Batman, since Batman is smarter than the Moon Knight. So I think he could find a way to beat the Moon Knight. Well, thank you for listening to my first episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and tune in next time. We'll be discussing some of Batman's funniest, dumbest, and most iconic supervillains ever created